This last news story comes to us from The Verge, written by Tom Warren. Sony wants 60 FPS PS5 Pro enhanced games, but it's happy to settle for less. That's just the words Adrian loves to hear. Sony settling for less.
I don't get it.
Sony is working on a new high-end version of the PS5 codenamed Trinity and likely to debut as the PS5 Pro later this year. The Verge confirmed leaked specs about the PS5 Pro earlier this week, and we've also obtained details on how existing and new PS5 games can be enhanced to take advantage of the PS5 Pro hardware. Sony is also working on an Ultra Boost mode for older games to make them run better on the PS5 Pro. Sources familiar with Sony's plans tell The Verge that Sony is asking developers to create a new PS5 Pro exclusive graphics mode in games that combine Sony's new PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short, upscaling to 4K resolution with a 60 FPS frame rate and ray tracing effects. Insider Gaming first reported on some of these enhanced PS5 Pro game details last month. While Sony wants this new mode in games, the PS5 Pro and quote-unquote enhanced label will still be available for a variety of other scenarios that include 30 FPS games. Developers have the option of increasing the target resolution for PS5 Pro games that run at a fixed resolution on PS5, or even increasing the target maximum resolution for games that run at a variable resolution on PS5. That could mean that we could see PS5 Pro enhanced games that run at between 1080 and 1440p resolution at 30 FPS on the base PS5, and run between 1280 and 2160 on the PS5 Pro at the same frame rate. A fixed resolution increase from 1440 to 2160 would also qualify as a PS5 Pro enhanced game. Developers could also choose to enable ray tracing effects and get the PS5 Pro enhanced label without improving resolution or frame rates. So if a developer wants to target 60 FPS instead of 30 FPS with the same resolution, this may also qualify as a PS. So I'm going to sum it up because that's a lot of just word salad. If a game wants to get the PS5 Pro enhanced label on the box, it has to do only one of these three things. And I'm going to editorialize a little bit. I don't like that it's only one of three things. I wish it was at least two of these three things, or even all three things, but here they are. They either A, have to raise the resolution of the game. B, I can't remember if it said A or 1 at the beginning, but either way.
You said A.
Okay, good. B, raise the frame rate to at least 60 FPS. Or C, flip a switch. I assume it's because I know everything about game development. You flip the switch to turn on ray tracing.
Yeah, it's a literal single switch.
If they walk over to the closet and flip the ray tracing switch, and all the computers start generating ray tracing in the games. I'll finish the article here before we give our full opinions here. Simply running a game at more stable frame rate on PS5 Pro is not enough for an enhanced label. Though, and Sony also won't add the label to games that run with a variable resolution and see increased resolution on the PS5 Pro that doesn't improve the maximum resolution. So if a game moves from 1440 to 2160 variable to 1800 by 2160 variable, it's still not qualified for the enhanced label because, as you can tell by those numbers, the top end is still 4K. So not technically enhanced. It's the same exact thing. Just more stable is all. Developers will need to update their games to Sony's latest SDK to take advantage of the PS5 Pro features, but some games that haven't been updated will benefit from better performance on the upcoming console. I understand that the PS5 Pro will have an Ultra Boost mode that will help variable, what is VRR? Variable resolution.
Refresh rate.
I know that's what it stands for, but, refresh rate, RR. Yeah, that makes sense. Both of those words start with R.
Gamer.
Hey, reading's hard, dude. I'm a gamer, not a reader. Get it? That will help VRR modes run at a higher frame rate, and games with a variable resolution may render at higher resolutions. Overall, frame rates may be more stable in certain games, too. Sony does warn developers that many unpatched games won't show improvements in this Ultra Boost mode, though. Games that run at a fixed resolution and graphical settings for fixed rendering resolutions won't show improvements. There's more of this article.
They literally put that in there just so people won't ask about Bloodborne.
Yeah. Basically, at the end of the day, if you want the enhanced label, you only have to do one of those three things. And it's all up to Sony is putting it all on the developers. They're saying, hey, If you want it, come and get it. If you don't, we're not going to push you into anything. We're not going to give you any extra cash to help out. Which I think is a miss.
Crazy.
Which is a miss. If I was Sony, I'd be like, hey, here's a little extra money. Put out the PS4, the PS5 Pro Enhanced, because that will only help sales of this console, right? So why wouldn't they invest in all these studios and be like, here, do this? And the fact that their standard is only doing one of those three things is wild to me. Like,
if Jim Ryan came and said, I want you to buy this PS5 Pro for $599, and some of the games that are updated for PS5 Pro are only going to be able to run at 1080, I'm giving him a swirly. I'm dunking his head in the toilet. What are you $600 and you're giving me 1080? Now look, I know I'm the guy who is like, I really could care less about these kinds of things, right? I only do like pixel peeping when the company is touting this thing, right? So I don't get on Nintendo's case about their games being 720 because they don't talk about that. They don't talk about being powerful like that, right? But Sony and Xbox are the ones that are talking about PSSR and Xbox talking about this is the most powerful console in the world. When you start touting that stuff, then I'm gonna start holding you to it. Because now that's what you're trying to sell me on is this hardware, this experience, right? That I'm supposed to be having. So if you're coming to me and you're telling me PS5 or PS5 Pro is only going to be able to run games at 1080, some games are only going to be able to run at 1080.
But it's 60 FPS now, Adrian. Or it has ray tracing now, Adrian.
It's $600. And that's speculative. It could be $649.
Yeah, we have no idea. I mean, at the rate they've been going, the fact that they came out with a PS5,
if your console says Pro,
they came out with a PS5 Slim, and the price went up.
It went up.
That's not a good sign for what the Pro is going to cost. Like, usually the Slim model does the opposite. Like, usually the Slim model comes out and it drops $100. This one, when they came out with PS5 Slim, they're like, let's bump it up $50. Like, wait, what? What are we doing here?
Sell me a Pro console and have games running on it at 30 frames a second. You're going in the garbage can. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I assume. So here's my speculation.
There should be no game on. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. There should be no game that is PS5 Pro Enhanced that is not running at 60. End of story.
Yeah. Here's what I anticipate happening. Here's my theory, or hypothesis. The console's PS5 Pro is going to come out. There's going to be a lot of games with a PS5 Pro Enhanced, but it's just going to be resolution. We're not going to get the frame rate that we want. It's going to be resolution. It's going to be ray tracing.
No,
I guarantee you, because a lot of the games we play now, it outputs in 4K, and we're playing on a 4K TV, let's say, but technically it's only running at the 1080p and being up-resed. So I think what a lot of people are going to be is like seeing that on a box, native 4K and ray tracing, like those are all the buzzwords right now. That's what I think. Unfortunately, most of the developers who get in on this are going to do, because that's probably the easiest thing to do a quick up-res of assets, or not even an up-res. Like all the assets are high res already. They're just not outputting or rendering at high res. So they're like, most game. I mean, just look at freaking Horizon Forbidden West. Like all those assets, I'm sure are at 4K or higher resolution, but they're forcing the game in the back end to render it lower so the PS5 can handle it. So basically, they're just going to unlock that, and then flip the switch in the closet I was talking about for ray tracing. So, like, those are the two quote unquote easiest things. I know there's a lot more to that. Don't at me, game developers. I know there's more to it than that, but I assume that's going to be the easier thing to do than the frame rate, because frame rates I know can be tied to other in-game things and requires more coding and stuff. I know, I've heard all the things, but frame rate is what we would like. That's
Please.
what we.
I'm throwing ray tracing away every time. Single time.
Ray tracing is a cool gimmick to turn on for about 10 minutes when I play Cyberpunk 2077, and then turn it off immediately. So that way my frames go back up to like, because when it's on, my frames are at like 30 FPS, and when it's on my I'm talking about my PC. I'm not playing on my console. And when I turn it off, they go up to like 140 FPS. So it's like, of course I'm going to play this game at 140 FPS, without the ray tracing, because Cyberpunk 2077 looks gorgeous with or without the ray tracing. Like, it looks cool, but you turn it off and like, oh, this game still looks really good without it. Most games do, because that's what we're all used to anyways. Like, yeah, it looks cool, but it's like, oh, I don't know. It's not enough to bog down my system with, when I'd rather just play at a high refresh rate and a higher resolution. So if I had to pick 2 out of the 3, it would be resolution and frame rate.
Every time.
But I guarantee you most people are going to give us the resolution and ray tracing because of the gimmick. Be like, hey, you had ray tracing on your PC. Now you got ray tracing on your PS5. It's like, we don't care. No one used it on the PC. No one wants it. We turn it off because it kills my system. I can't play Cyberpunk. Like, if I wanted to stream Cyberpunk, I wouldn't turn on ray tracing because it'd crash my computer. As soon as second OBS turned on and I hit go live, my computer would blow a puff of smoke out the back immediately, and that would be it. So it's like not practical. I don't know. Sorry for that little rant there, but what are your thoughts on this, Adrian?
I said them already. I said it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Honestly, this makes me feel so much better about not waiting and just getting another base PS5. I'm good.
Right, because you just got a PS5 Slim, and you almost were thinking about waiting till the Pro, but yeah, I feel like you would have paid a lot more for
what is essentially a PS5 Plus.
Yeah.
It's a PS5 Extra. It's not a Pro.
Yeah, I do like the idea of the Ultra Boost mode, where games that aren't technically enhanced, it can do things in the back end to help the resolution and the frame rate. Like what it reminds me of is
but that's only if it's not hard coded. So like a game would have to be, a frame rate would have to be uncapped for it to be improved. A resolution would have to be variable for it. So if if a developer hard coded a game to be 1080, no effect.
Right, exactly. But I just like, because didn't Xbox do that with the Series, or was it the One X? Was it?
It was One X and the Series where they were doing the.
But it started.
But that's because they went into the code and did it.
Yeah. So but it was originally with the One X. Like when they did that, like that's basically what this Ultra Boost mode is. It's kind of doing what it originally did on the One X or whatever, and not continuing on with this Series S and X. And so like I like the idea of that, but you're right. Like how many games are going to be able to even utilize that? Might not be a lot, unfortunately. Silk says PlayStation out here rinsing Sony ponies every last dime.
They really are. They really are.
Kajoma says, and they all say, "Thank you, sir. Can I have another?"
They sure do.
Truth.
Yeah, I don't know. PS5 Pro sounding like a scam to me, man. I'm just the way of course we don't have any hard facts or hard anything about it. We don't even know if it's actually a thing. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it is. There may be reports, but until Sony comes out and says that PS5 Pro is happening, it does not officially exist.
Apparently the leaks have been confirmed somehow. The Verge has another article. They haven't linked here. Sony's PS5 Pro is real and developers are getting ready for it. So somehow they've gotten...
Right, by their sources. I'm saying until Sony says it.
Right, true.
It's not official.
Yeah.
It's nice to speculate, and I'm sure... Look, common sense-wise, of course, they're working on something, right? But I'm saying we don't know facts A to Z until Sony comes out and says, this is what this console is and this is what it can do.
They have a track record, though, that precedes them, and it doesn't bode well for them. So that's a lot of our opinions. That's where it's coming from. It's coming from experience, unfortunately. So I hope we can be surprised. I hope they come out and do change our mind on this and be like, oh, no, this actually is a good thing. And they're going to push for good things from it. But Again, Selk says it in the chat. History speaks volumes. Exactly.
It does. It does. It does.
Boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, that's
What a company.
all I got for that story. I just stay tuned, I guess. If it's supposedly coming out at the end of this year, I assume we hear about it either at Summer Game Fest or maybe in the fall. But I assume
fall's too late.
I feel like Summer Game Fest, we'd have to hear about it in order to get people hyped for the winter release, the holiday release.
You got to give people time to save up that $700 that they're getting ready to drop.
I love how every time you say the price, it's like a little bit more, like $50 more. You just keep it incrementally increasing.
It's Sony, dog. What are you going to do? Are you going to not play GTA 5 at 60 frames, huh?
Yeah, that's where they're going to get everyone. It's going to be like, the only way to play GTA 6 at 4K 60 FPS with ray tracing is on the PS5 Pro, and everyone's gonna be like, okay, anything
I'm
you
fine.
want.
Nope, I'm good.
Or
download
on PC.
that game,
or just buy it, get it for PC.
They didn't say it's coming to PC yet.
Oh, really?
No. Rockstar has not said it's coming to PC yet.
Interesting. Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.